Karen, 5 years ago when COVID hit and I went through a divorce and everything, man, if I didn't have my friends, male friends, like these two brothers that were talking to Michael Beasley, I don't know if I would have made it out of 2020. That's just a fact. And I'm talking about the dudes who were like, I got you, Kevin. I got you. And I'm getting emotional here listening to this because I'm like, it don't matter if you're 26, 36, 46, 56. Everyone needs some community, even if it's just a few people. You need someone.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
I saw this clip on Ryan Clark's Pivot, and I said, I sent it to you immediately because it broke my heart. Because all I saw in Michael Beasley was a man gripped in pain with no outlet for that pain. And I said, damn, it broke my heart watching him. He was talking with Channing Crowder, another football player that's on the podcast with Ryan Clark. I'm going to play the first clip, Smith. Let's play that one.
Like, I had to wake up one day in the league, one day in the summertime, and find out everybody was stealing from me down. Everybody from my financial advisor, from my mom, to everybody in my fucking family, to everybody was, you dig what I'm saying? To the point where
getting the cut.
To the point where I was faced with two evils. It's like, okay, do I let this go on and not tell them because this is my family? Or do I cut them off and don't have no family?
What was your decision?
At first, I tried to explain to them, but you can't explain $1 million problems to somebody ain't never seen $10 before. You dig what I'm saying? So at first, you try to explain, and then my best analogy for the situation was like, yo, listen, we on this boat right now, right? And it's a slight leak in the boat. If I get on this life raft and get to the water, not only could I come back with help for the boat, but I can come back with a mega yacht.
Right.
And we'll be straight. I'm trying to tell y'all. Or we can just be piled on this boat until this motherfucker just float. And then I'm telling y'all, when this motherfucker sink, and me and mine gonna get up off this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because I got kids that ain't got nothing to do with what y'all got going on. Y'all just gonna be in the water somewhere.
Wow. Whew.
So what I want to ask you, and then we'll talk about it when we come back. We have to go to break. Some people listening right now feel like that alien in their family. They feel like there's no place that they can go. This man, and I fortunately, because I covered sports and I've done some books with some athletes, and this story is not unusual, unfortunately, and it shows up in different areas. It's not just in the sporting realm. It's like if you're the one person making money, everybody will come and sit up under you. But the biggest betrayal is to have your mom or somebody really close to you steal your money. I can't even imagine that. My dad had a story like that. He was working since he was 5, and his mother, went through his pockets, because and there's an entitlement. I gave birth to you. I deserve to have whatever you have. And parents putting their kids' social security numbers on credit cards. That's stealing, right? You're doing that. You're setting your child up for failure. That must feel like the ultimate betrayal. And then to have a choice between cutting off that source and not having the family or the peace. And I don't know how you navigate that without the skills, right? And you're 20, you're talented, you got all of this money coming at you, fame, women, whatever. And now you have this to contend with. And then you're supposed to be a man. You're supposed to know what to do. Let's talk about it, Kevin, because this thing, and we'll play the second clip from him when we come back, because he broke down into tears.
And the type of life you've lived, Mike, and you say the only people in your life who haven't stolen from you are your kids. Now that you are an adult, now that at least right now you're out of basketball, are you searching out other people to build adult relationships with? Or are you or is everything that's happened in your life been so difficult?
You want me to be real with you?
Yeah.
I don't leave the house. I play basketball and I go home. I don't care what y'all do no more. Like, all I care about is playing basketball all day. I go home and I try to talk to my kids as much as I can. I don't see them as much as I can because I'm not traveling as much no more. I don't know what to expect when I leave this house no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I've reached out and I've reached out and I've reached out and I've reached out and I've reached out so more that I gotta die with some kind of dignity.
B, that's not sustainable. Like, you too young, bro. That's not sustainable, bro. You can still play ball. So that's not sustainable.
So I can come up here and I can tell you somebody else's life and I'm willing to do it. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my head backward. I'm gonna put a smile on for you and I'm gonna, like, bro, I'm gonna
You
tell
don't gotta put nothing on for me. Like,
or I can just sit back and I'm gonna tell you what it is. Like, I'm not, I know that's not sustainable, but at the same time, like, what?
Please, none of us can do it. None of us can do it alone, bro.
Reach out.
Go out.
You
Go,
have
hold
to
on,
change,
go out where?
change the narrative.
Go out where?
Go out, talk to people, interact with people. Like, bro, real talk. I'll call us out. Us three. Bro, you be in Miami?
Y'all party. I don't party, bro.
No. We don't party, bro. I'm talking about you have kids, I have kids. Come to my house. We can get bounce houses for the kids. We can sit back on the porch, drink a couple beers, drink some wine, hang out. Like, bro, that's not a normal, successful man's life to sit up in the house like that.
Mm.
Shout
Wow.
out to them brothers on the pivot. Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, that was his voice, offering solidarity and love and companionship to Michael Beasley. Kevin Powell is here. You just did a documentary on manhood. When we free us, when we free the world.
It's one of the things you begin to realize, Karen, is not only do we not talk a lot of us about what we're going through, incorrect information or intel is passed along from generation to generation. Men don't cry, don't talk about stuff, just suck it up, just man up. We call each other names if we're not the kind of man that we're supposed to be, whatever that's supposed to mean. And one of the things I always say is not like or if we happen to have fathers in our lives or father figures, strong silent types, but that's beautiful. They're there, they paid the bills, they'll like that famous moment in The Fences, both the play and the film, when Denzel's character says, "Well, I raised you. I ain't supposed to like you." And you listening to Michael Beasley, I mean, I went during our break. I mean, this is someone who's, as you said, his family, took from him because often with times, especially when we come from poor environments, if you happen to become a star athlete or a star entertainer, rapper, etc., you become the breadwinner for so many different people. I remember hearing that when Allen Iverson was at the peak of his career, he was responsible for like 50 family members and friends. I mean, it's and you have no blueprint. I also noticed that Michael Beasley has about 9 or 10 children. He's only 36 years old. No judgment at all on that one. It happens. But like, he's been through the league. He's played overseas in China. He was a McDonald's All-American. But it's not like, you're given a blueprint. You're just told to play ball, just rap, just dance, just entertain, just score a touchdown. No one's really saying how to be a whole man, how to be, what do we need to do here? And that it's not just athletes. It happened to me as I'm listening to him. Man, I can't tell you how many times I have fallen on my face completely because I had no clue what I was supposed to do. And then you're supposed to be the strong, silent type and just suck it up and not tell people, oh, don't share your business with people, or you're somehow weak or a sucker if you share what you're going through. Man, Karen, 5 years ago when COVID hit and I went through a divorce and everything, man, if I didn't have my friends, male friends like these two brothers that were talking to Michael Beasley, I don't know if I would have made it out of 2020. That's just a fact. And I'm talking about the dudes who were like, I got you, Kevin. I got you. And I'm getting emotional here listening to this because I'm like, it don't matter if you're 26, 36, 46, 56. Everyone needs some community, even if it's just a few people. You need someone, I duly know every time you open up your show, you acknowledge Smiz and Jonah and Amina, all the people. That's a community. We need community. We need a family in some form in this crazy world. Otherwise, you fall through the cracks. And it's just like, I think God that these brothers were talking to him. But that's what the film is about. Because if not, you end up like Kevin Powell, many years. The reason why I'm a vegan and I don't drink because I use liquor as a way to numb the pain that I was feeling. Some of us is weed, whatever it may be. No judgment because I've been there, or we become sex addicts. We engage in this toxic, destructive behavior, and then we end up hurting other people and over again. That is not manhood, man. That's not manhood. That's
How do we
pain.
get men and boys to value those kind of relationships where you will be held accountable? I think a lot of us, men and women, run away from people that hold us to account. We don't want to hear we don't want to hear it. And those people in our lives that, are telling us things that we know are right, but we just don't want to hear it. We avoid like the plague.
Yeah.
How do we raise a generation of people who will run towards correction, not away from it, or run towards community, not away from it?
I think men need love. I think a lot of us just don't even know what love is like. Like a lot of times, we joke about how we'll put the arm between us instead of giving each other real hugs, how we can't say I love you to each other. My homies, my friends, I love you. I love you, Kev. We're straight up about that. Back in the day, could I say that? Absolutely not. I was like, nah, the things that we say, we somehow or another the homophobia comes out of it. Why are you saying that to me? I mean, no, man, like, we actually need to model what it looks like to be a healthy part of the community. We need to model these things. It's like I had a brother this morning say to me, Cav, you don't realize it, but some of the things that you did helped me because I was just paying attention to what you were doing. I had no idea. He said this to me this morning. But I did the same thing. I would look at other men like, okay, this is how this person is in this relationship, whereas this person is trying to sleep with everybody. Let me look at this person who's trying to be in a relationship. Here's this person who's actually showing up and responsible, is trying to be a good mentor, a good father figure, whatever. Let me angle toward that. I don't want to be over here. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't want to be the person that people say is just a deadbeat dad, a deadbeat man, or as my mother says at 82 years old, all men are no good. I don't want to be that person. So I better find some examples of people. If I don't have a father in life, or if my father wasn't emotionally available, I need to find someone who actually talks about their feeling. I mean, I just think we need different models. I mean, when you think about black women since the civil rights era, I mean, y'all have had such a range of
Yeah,
black
yeah.
female expression, black women expression. Black men, it's like the same few images over and over again. It's ridiculous how
I'm thinking
limited.
as you're talking, it's like fraternities. You
Yep.
got that, and that should be the beacon and the haven. But some of that perpetuates the very same thing. There's this TikTok video, a bunch of them going around where men. The joke is men call their male friends to wish them a good night. Just want to say good night,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
reactions like what? Like the reactions to hey, I just want to say have a good night.
Or
It's hilarious, but it's also very telling.
or even like I'll ask, man, how you doing? Well, our response is something about work. I'm like, well, how are you doing? And then it's just like it's dumbfounded. It's like, well, what we're taught as men is we either get angry or lash out. That's one, or we want to fight, literally fight, verbally, physically, or both too, or we just run away. We just shut it down. That's the emotional expression that we're allowed to have. That's absolutely a recipe for not being mentally well, spiritually well, as far as I'm concerned. And that's putting us into what my brother Byron Hurt calls in the film, this male box, this male prison. I don't want to be in prison. You know what I mean? And we're whole human beings, we should better express the totality of who we are. As I'm listening to Michael Beasley, I'm like, he's only 36, y'all. He's 36 years old. And he's given up on life over. He's given up on life. He's 36.
It,
LeBron is 40, still playing in the NBA. Chris Paul is 40, still playing in the NBA. But he has had a series of events happen to him, and life starts to beat you down, and you start to slowly give up. I get it. I commend Ryan Clark and the other brother for reaching out to him. I hope that, because people saved me, Karen, and we also have to reach and help brothers. We got, I remember years ago, I was going to this church that I will not name in Brooklyn. They had a whole men's ministry. They would go to the woods and read the Bible and all that other bull crap. And I'm saying this as a Christian. I was like, they would ask me, well, is it really that bad for brothers in Brooklyn? I'm like, man, you live in Brooklyn. When you go to work in the morning time, you see the brothers out there. How are you going to ask me how it's going for brothers when you're right there? And so there's also a disconnect from those of us who quote unquote make it or quote unquote successful. We don't reach back. You know what I mean? We don't think it's
Yes.
important. Man, I talk to everywhere I go, I talk to every black male or male, period, that is looking for something. I'm like, man, let's have a conversation. Are you all right? And I'm not judgmental. What's on your mind? What are you feeling? Can we talk about more than sports and money and women for a second? Can we do that? You know what I'm saying? What is
Yes.
going on
Yes.
inside of you?
Ma-
What is
Maybe
happening
that
inside
could
of
be the
you?
next TikTok challenge, in addition to wishing your male friends sweet dreams, which I think is a nice thing to have sweet dreams. Kevin
Right.
Powell is here.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.